Windows interface that we had provided previously to manage your product structures. We've enhanced that in 12.2.15 to give you more choices to visualize the information in more expanded or contracted layout, and to identify things like where used information for various BOM components from this interface. In discrete manufacturing, we now support having reservations for component items on work orders. So just to give you context for this, you've always been able to reserve items for sales orders or service orders. In 12.2.10, we added the ability to reserve either the material that was coming either in inventory or from a purchase order for use in a work order, to consume it in your manufacturing process, not just to sell that thing to a customer. And what we've added now in 12.2.15 is the ability to reserve the output of one work order for another work order. So if you're producing something and you just want to, and there are a number of different subsequent work orders that might want to consume that those components, those intermediate assemblies that you produced, you can reserve the output of a particular work order for use in an important subsequent work order. In the outsourced manufacturing area, just to orient you, the outsourced manufacturing is where you have, like you are an original equipment manufacturer and you contract with another organization called a manufacturing partner to do some or all of your manufacturing for you. And typically, one use case is that you can have the supplier send the material that you buy directly to that manufacturing partner, or in some cases you have that yourself. You ship material that's either raw material or it's that you purchased, or it's some level of assembly that you achieved inside your own organization. Then you send it out to be operated on by this other organization. Then you receive it back with their value added. We have supported standard costs for that model. What we've added now, again, a customer request, has been supported for various methods of actual costing. So you really see the actual material invoices and the actual costs that manufacturing partner actually invoiced you for example, and have all those actuals actually get reflected in the cost of goods sold for the things that are returned. And we also support, like, one important use case of this is tracking this all by project and task calculations for those outsourced assembly costs. Again, large number of small individual enhancements. Things like, I'll give you one example here, that you could now create an engineering change order for an item that's in an inactive status. You might have items that are inactive because you don't sell them anymore, but you may you may keep them for service purposes, and you may need to have an engineering change order that modernizes some component that goes into one of those service parts, for example. So we basically give you more flexibility on how that's handled. In process manufacturing, one feature that's kind of interesting is to track scrap more accurately. So there's scrap. Scrap can be material that's just thrown out. It can also be material that didn't meet a certain quality grade, but it can be reused. It also could be trimmings, things that the material came out, and in order to put it in a particular shape, you get residual material, but that material could be reused. So we now give you much more complete tracking of the scrap that happens during your batch processing, and you can actually keep track of the scrap as inventory items now, because you might reuse it. And again, a whole number of customer-driven enhancements. A simple example here is you can now define a quality specification that's shared across items. So if you're doing a manufacturing process and you just have a uniform requirement that all the different measurements of acidity or something during the process need to be within a certain range, certain pH range, you can specify that as a non-product specific quality specification. In the EAM, Enterprise Asset Management area, we have a cool new feature that uses generative AI technology to develop a work order summary for what the technician did at the service call. So it can be, they take the information that's actually on the work order and make a nice narrative summary of what happened in the call, the amount of the cost of the materials that were used, how that related to the amount of time that was taken, how that relates to the estimates and so forth, just to make something that's easier for somebody else to review. We also improved, in 12.2.13, we introduced an HTML interactive Gantt chart for maintenance scheduling. We enhanced the search capabilities in that in 12.2.14, and then now in 12.2.15, we let you visualize resource loads, again with a color coding down at the bottom, and made some other enhancements to make this more of everything the customers are looking for in this area. We've enhanced the mobile application. I actually did this back in January, but we're including it here because it's kind of container for the 12.2.15 release, and we didn't feature this in any other discussion. So